I'm sick of the lies. The lies. The lies. The mainstream sports media tells you to make you believe that LeBron James is the GOAT. He's not the GOAT, dog. He's not the GOAT. He's not even he's not even close to being the GOAT, dog. And people keep talking about, oh, but no. He is a GOAT. We've never seen anyone do what he's done. We never seen it before. You need to appreciate greatness while it's here. Appreciate the greatness of the king. Nobody cares about that, dog. He great. Don't get me wrong. Do great. But greatest of all time? Nah. Nah. He a top 10 player. All time, he's a top 10 player. You know? No matter how you want to paint it. He a top 10 player. At least that's how it's going to be. When you look at the history, right? 20 years from now, people are going to look in the history books. They're going to look at his numbers and they'll say, oh, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Well, look at those points and the rebounds and the assists and look at all these all-star appearances and look at all these point total accumulations. That's what they're going to do. And say, oh, he's so great. He's so great. Statistically, then they're going to start looking at how much of a winner he was. And all that, oh, yeah, oh. That smile is going to fade. You know, guy wasn't that much of a winner. That guy wasn't that much of a winner. That guy, he was a stat patter. He put up numbers, but he didn't put up wins, dog. And the rings that he has, they're not going to know they were fraudulent rings. You know, they're not going to know that. They're just going to see 4 rings. 4 rings. He's a 4-time champion. 4 finals MVPs. Second most all time. That's what they're going to see. They're not going to know. But guess what? We can always look back in the history, dog, and find out who he really was, dog. You know what I'm saying? We'll find out. For the people who dig deep, do some research. They want to show me a GOAT. That's what the fanboys, oh, I'm going to show you a GOAT. Okay. Show me a GOAT. Look, I'm going to show you something, dog. You're going to show me a GOAT, huh? Look at this. Look, you show me a GOAT. You want to tell me a story about a GOAT? I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story about a physical specimen. All right? You see a GOAT, I see a physical specimen, you know, a guy who's got height, he's got size, he's got strength, he's got speed, he's got athleticism, you know. When he comes into the league, people thinking he's going to be somebody. He really going to be something. But he is lacking in the fundamentals, dog. He ain't really got those fundamentals going for him. He got the physical, he got all the physical gifts, but the fundamental gifts are kind of flawed. But who knows, maybe over time he'll develop those and become a great player. We'll see. Now, I also see a dude who's statistically dominant, right? A dude who could get up some numbers. He could put up some numbers. He was a stat sheet stuffer. He could stuff the stat sheet. He could get your little box scores, all that little stuff that shows up, your rebounds and assists and all that stuff, steals, blocks, whatever, right? He could stuff the stat sheet, right? He's good at getting individual stats, right? Individual stats. But he fails when it comes to team play, all right? As in playing to win with your team, helping your team win. He's good at helping himself get numbers, but not his team winning. All right? Now, this dude is statistically dominant in the regular season, but he chokes in the playoffs, dog. When it's time to call his number, when those playoffs hit, he's been having some big meltdown performances, dog, where he not performing like how he was in the regular season. That's what I see. You tell me it's a GOAT. I see a choker in the playoffs, dog. You know, I see a guy who couldn't win with the franchise he was drafted on. You know, when he first got drafted to his franchise, he couldn't lead them to a win. He led them to one finals appearance. He was able to do that. He managed to do that, but he couldn't win. He couldn't win a championship with the first team he was drafted to, you know? And even though his team had back-to-back 60-plus win seasons, all right, this guy ran to another franchise, right? You know, to team up with two All-Stars. As a matter of fact, he had to team up with two other All-Stars to get his first two rings. All right? He had to team up with two. He was a team hopper. All right? But he still managed to get his numbers, right? So he's a numbers guy. He gets his numbers, but when it comes to winning, he's got to team hop and join up with other stars to help him actually win championships. All right? That's your GOAT. That's the GOAT story you're telling me? No, I'm going to tell you a story about a guy. Yeah, he was able to get his numbers. He even led the league in assists for one of his championship runs. Okay. Didn't lead the league in scoring for any of his championship runs. Nope. No scoring titles for his championships, but he did lead the league one time in assists when it came to, you know, some sort of offensive leading whatever. All right? For one of his championship runs. So he shows his versatility, right? Yeah, you know, this guy, he does a little bit of everything, right? He showed his versatility as a basketball player, you know? You telling me the story of a GOAT? I'm telling you a story of a guy who's a 4-time MVP. Okay, so what? Look, at least 50% of them were on a super team. So is that as impressive that he got MVP when at least 50% of his MVPs, he was on a super team? Come on, dog. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the great, the glorious King LeBron James. The guy with more losses than wins in the finals. That's the little story for you, right? A little story. That's my GOAT story for you of what I see. You know? But look at this. You know, you think this is just the whole story of LeBron James? Nah, dog. You know? This is I'm actually not even talking about LeBron James. I'm talking about Wilt Chamberlain, dog. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about here? This is actually Wilt Chamberlain's career I'm talking about, dog. See, we already done seen a LeBron before, dog. Y'all acting like this is new stuff, dog. This ain't no new stuff. All right? Wilt Chamberlain was the guy who was the physical specimen. He had size, he had height, he had strength, he had speed, he had athleticism. He was statistically dominant, right? But, you know, he was kind of lacking in the fundamentals, all right? Freak athlete, though, all right? He was the guy who was good at getting individual stats, but not winning. He was the guy who was choking in the playoffs, not performing what he was doing in the regular season in the playoffs, all right? He was the guy who couldn't win with the franchise he was drafted to. As a matter of fact, even though he managed to get one finals appearance with the original franchise he was drafted to, the Philadelphia Warriors, which turned into the San Francisco Warriors. All right? So he managed to go to one finals appearance, but he couldn't win. Couldn't win with the franchise he was drafted to. All right? He was the one who had a team with 60 plus wins for back-to-back seasons and ran to another franchise to team up with two All-Stars. Yeah. Yeah, this is all true. Now, here's the difference though, right? You see, Wilt Chamberlain, when he was drafted, he was drafted to the Philadelphia Warriors, which turned into the San Francisco Warriors. He went to one finals, he lost. All right. Then he ran over to the Philadelphia 76ers, right? Philadelphia 76ers, he went there to join up with two All-Stars, just like how LeBron did. Run into Miami, dog. Now, when Wilt went to the 76ers, he had what? Hal Greer, Chet Walker. You see, these players, they were already all-stars on that team before he went there. They were all-stars before he got there. So he knew he was going to join up with all-stars. And then he was an all-star that year that he joined. So now you got three all-stars on the same team trying to win a championship. Sound familiar, right? So, and then that he only got one ring with them, right? Just one. And then, he was there for like another couple years, or another year after that. After the year after they won the championship. See, the first time they won a championship, they were a 68 win team. The second time they won a championship, or not won a championship, but the next year, they had a 60-20 record. All right? 60-20. Or, sorry, 60-21. Because it was only 81 games at that point. It hadn't fully, evolved into 82 games. So, back-to-back 60-plus win seasons before he runs to another team, dog. And he joins a team that has two All-Stars in the Lakers, and that is your super team. All right? Because you already got Jerry West over there, and you got Elgin Baylor. That's the team he ran to, a team that had already been to the finals previously, before he even got there, dog. They had, just the year before he hopped on that team, they were in the finals. All right? So they go to the finals again, dog. And then they go to the finals again after that. Still losing. But then they go to the finals again, right? I think maybe the third or fourth try. Who cares, right? They finally win a ring. But by this time that they finally win a ring together, Elgin Baylor, he retired right in that season. He had a torn his Achilles the season before, and it was nagging him, and he was like, "Yo, I'm out." So then you got Gail Goodrich on that team, and Gail Goodrich became an All-Star that same year. So once again, you have three All-Stars on the same team: Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain, and Gail Goodrich, dog. And then, he's the guy who led the league in assists for one of his championship runs. That was when he originally played with the Sixers, when he ran over there to join up with two All-Stars. All right? Just like LeBron when he was with the Lakers. Okay? And yes, Wilt Chamberlain is the 4-time MVP. All right? And at least 50% of the MVPs he won were on a super team. I say at least 50% because the 3 MVPs that he got consecutively were all on that Lakers team, that second team he joined with 2 other All-Stars. All right? So what are we talking about here, dog? What are we looking at, dog? You see what I'm saying? This is not new. You think LeBron is some new dude. LeBron ain't no dude. LeBron ain't got no skill like that. Where he's just the greatest player we've ever seen. LeBron is another Wilt, dog. A dude who could put up numbers, but guess what? He can't win. All right? He still don't know how to win, dog. So he team hopping over here, with the best talent he can find so he can get his rings, dog. More losses than wins in the finals, just like Wilt, dog. More losses than wins in the finals, even though he's a statistical monster, right? Now, Wilt is like that pill you take, you know, when you got a headache. Take that pill, he'll knock it out. It's potent. LeBron, he's like that pill you take that it's a slow release capsule, right? You take it, it's not gonna knock it out right away. It's gonna slowly release the stuff that's gonna help ease your headache. And over time, over a timed release, your headache goes away, you know? That's LeBron's career, dog. Longevity. He stretched it out. He extended it as far as he could extend it. Wilt only played 14 seasons, right? 14. Dog. But he was a stat stuffer. His stats are way better than LeBron's stats. Wilt put up ridiculous numbers. Wilt averaged 50.4 points per game in a season, dog. LeBron ain't doing nothing like that. He ain't coming anywhere near something like that, dog. He ain't that much of a freak. He ain't no Wilt Chamberlain kind of freak. You know what I'm saying? He ain't coming anywhere near any records like that. They're talking about all these records LeBron has. Oh, he got this record and that record, this record. None of these are really like game records. They're like longevity records. Like over time, he accumulated this. Over time, he accumulated that. Nobody cares about that, dog. We don't care about how long you played. We care about what you did when you were playing. All right? Nobody cares about the length. We care about the quality. And not just stats, but winning. All right? Now, people are trying to argue that Wilt Chamberlain isn't the GOAT. And he's not. But why does LeBron have more of a case for being the GOAT than Wilt when their careers are they're pretty much the same kind of player, dog. Guys who can stuff a stat sheet, but they suck at winning. All right? Losers. But guess what? LeBron has 2 more rings, whoop-de-doo, than Wilt Chamberlain, dog. So now Wilt's name on that list goes down. And LeBron's name goes up. Because he won more. Not because his stats are better, because they aren't. He ain't got no stats anywhere near no Wilt Chamberlain, dog. Ain't got no stats like that, dog. But LeBron won more. You see what I'm saying? He won more. He has more finals MVPs. Wilt only has 1. Part of that reason is because he won his first championship in 1967. 2 years before the finals MVP was even a thing. All right? But the whole point is, winning is what matters, dog. It's not stats. Stats don't determine a player's greatness. Winning does. It's always been winning, dog. And these people in the mainstream sports media, they just keep throwing stats all on the screen. Oh, look at this, and look at that, and look at this, and look at that. Another stat for you. Nobody cares. They don't care about these stats. Did he win? Are y'all winning? We play this game to win. That's the purpose of the game. The purpose of the game is to win, not to collect stats. Nobody trying to collect no stats, dog. We trying to win this game. Let me ask you a question. Let's look at the box score, all right? Let me ask you something, right? From a team standpoint, right? Team standpoint. Listen to this. Let me learn something on you, dog. Let me put you up on some game for these Braun fanboys. Y'all think it's all about stats, huh? You think stats are okay? I got something for you, dog. Let's look at this box score, dog. From a team standpoint, does the team that has the higher free throw percentage win the game? No. Does the team that has more free throws made win the game? Does that guarantee they'll win the game? No. Does the team that has a higher field goal percentage win the game? Does that guarantee they're going to win the game? No. What about the team that has the higher 3-point percentage? The higher 3-point percentage. If you're more efficient from three, the team that's more efficient from three, does that guarantee they're going to win the game? No. Does the team that has more points in the paint, does that guarantee they're going to win the game? No. Does the team that has more steals, if the team has more steals, does that mean they're going to win the game? Does that guarantee it? No. What about the team that has more blocks? That guarantees that team's going to win the game, right? Because they have more blocks? No. What about rebounds? Surely the team that out rebounds the other team guarantees themselves a win on that game, right? No. What about is there something else? There's got to be something else here. There's got to be something else. There's got to be another stat. Come on now. I'm running out of stats. I'm running out of things. I'm running out of things to name. We went over assists. Oh yeah, what about assists? The team that has more assists, they're going to win the game, right? That guarantees it, right? No. Okay, so I went over assists. I went over steals. I went over blocks. I went over points in the paint. I went over free throws and free throw percentage and three-pointers and all those stats. None of those. If one team has more than the other, guarantees that team is going to win the game. The only real stat that actually is worth paying attention to is points. Does the team that has more points than the other team, does that guarantee they win the game? And the answer is yes. Yes. It's about getting buckets, dog. Buckets. Getting more points as a team than the other team in this team sport. See what I'm saying, dog? So I don't care how much an individual scores for their team, because it's not about how much the individual scores. It's not about how many rebounds the individual gets. It's not about how many assists the individual gets. It's not about how many steals, how many blocks the individual gets. All right? It's about your team outscoring the other team. Now, of course, do stats matter? Yeah, here and there, you know, if you want to look at this and look at that and use this to compare to that and use that to compare to that. Yeah, sure. Why not? But here's the thing. People over time, they got lost. They got lost in stats instead of the purpose of the game, which is to win. All right. They started looking at stats. You know, people started coming around like Michael Jordan, right? He averaged 30 points per game for his career, dog. You know? So people started saying, 30 points per game. Ooh, that's a good stat line. That stat line is sexy. Only because Michael Jordan won 6 championships and he got 5 MVPs and all that kind of stuff. So now people want to look at his stats and say, if you put up Michael Jordan like stats, Michael Jordan like numbers, then you will be just as great. Or you will win the game. You'll guarantee it. No, you won't. You see, Michael was an actual winner. He was a real winner, dog. He played to win the game. He didn't care about his stats. Yeah, his stats were awesome. But that wasn't the point. The point is, you got to show up in the moments where winning matters the most. Michael was clutch. You see what I'm saying? Michael stepped up his game when the team needed him to do so. If you needed a clutch steal, Michael could do that. Needed a clutch block, Michael could do that. Needed a clutch score, Michael could do that. Needed a clutch free throw, Michael could do that. Come on, dog. Come on. People stopped thinking about the actual purpose of the game and got their head clouded with stats. So much to the point that the mainstream sports media, they keep broadcasting stats like stats matter. Stats don't matter like that, dog. They don't. It's about winning. Always been about winning. Stats don't determine a player's greatness. All right? Kobe Bryant. He has 5 rings, right? Magic Johnson. He has 5 rings, right? Tim Duncan. He has 5 rings, right? All these guys, all 3 of these guys, they got 5 rings. 5 rings, right? Are all their stat lines the same? Do they all have the same kind of points per game and the same kind of rebounds and the same kind of assists and all that, and field goal percentage and efficiency and accuracy from the, is all their stuff the same? Because they all have the same amount of championships. They all showed up and knew how to win a game. But all their stat lines aren't the same. Just think about that. You can do different things and get different results, or you can do different things and get the same results. All right? It just matters how you think the game and how you play with your team. You see what I'm saying? People don't understand. There's many ways, you know? There's more than one way to skin a cat. You ever heard that? There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to do something. You don't have to put up crazy numbers to get a win. You know? The whole point is your team has to outscore the other team. But now they made it all about players and stars. They're trying to entertain. Now look at these stars. Look at their numbers. Look how skilled they are. Don't you understand? It's so easy. It's easy for a player to get out there and stat pad. How about get those stats and win? Ooh. Now that's hard to do. You know how I know? Because we look at LeBron and we look at Wilt Chamberlain. Statistical monsters that can't buy themselves a win, dog. They're going to lose more than they win at the highest level because they only know how to get their numbers. Those are the facts, dog. That's what it is. But these fanboys, man, over here acting like LeBron is the GOAT. We already seen LeBron. LeBron already done came and went. Oh, we're seeing LeBron 2.0. All right. The first LeBron was Wilt Chamberlain, dog. And this new LeBron, see the old LeBron, Wilt Chamberlain, wasn't the GOAT. So obviously, this new LeBron, LeBron James, also by default, is not the GOAT, dog. He not the GOAT.